Why do men still not understand why we're afraid of them? In 2019, there were 57 shark attacks worldwide. Worldwide! Guess how many women were sexually assaulted in the US alone in 2019? Over 400,000. You're not gonna go up to a person who's afraid of sharks and be like, there are over 1 billion sharks in the sea, they're not all bad, they're not all gonna attack you. We fucking know! But what we don't know is which sharks are gonna attack us. What we don't know is which men are bad apples. And even besides all of that, if you're a man and you're walking alone at night and you start feeling anxious, are you anxious because you feel like a woman's gonna come out and attack you? Be honest with yourself.
If a girl goes out with a bunch of men, she's a hoe. But when a guy goes out with a bunch of women...
The answer is called broken sexual selection.
Somehow you manage to say so much, but also literally nothing at the same time. You, my friend, are the reason that women say all men, and are justified in saying it. We aren't apes, dude. You can't blame modern society on biological inclinations. Yeah, you know what also wasn't a thing in caveman times? Consent! So you comparing us to other species of animals, or even other primates, literally means nothing. Because just because we have a biological desire to do something, does not mean that should be the societal standard. Men are more predisposed genetically to be more aggressive due to having higher testosterone levels, which is due to evolution and men needing to be the protectors at that time. But it's 2021. Would you make the same argument that we shouldn't judge men if they go out and assault someone because, oh, they have a biological inclination to do it? No, dumbass, we don't base things off prehistoric standards.
It's crazy to me that guys be like, oh, I don't want to have a daughter because she'll be a whore. That's the reason you don't want to have a daughter? I don't want to have a daughter because the world is not safe for women. Literally, women are objectified and sexualized for anything that they do. You guys are already sexualizing your metaphorical daughter that doesn't exist yet. I don't want to have a daughter because a study in the UK said that 97% of women are sexually harassed. I don't want to have a daughter because no matter how old she turns, she still won't age out of being kidnapped. If I had a son by the time he's like 15, nobody's going to kidnap him, but you could have a daughter and somebody would snatch her up at 35. The fact that men will sit there and sexualize a daughter that they don't even have and doesn't even exist shows you how flawed male thinking is. And knowing that there's men out there that think like that is enough to scare me out of ever wanting to have a daughter.
Get ready for the snowflakes in the comments, cause here's a hot take. In the United States, about 44 out of every 100 men and 40 out of every 100 women have a gun in the household. Now 44 versus 40 is pretty even, so men and women own guns at pretty much the same rate. Here's the thing though, men commit mass shootings at a much higher rate than women do. Now that we've got that all explained, let's get to the hot take I was talking about. We don't need to take guns away. We need to take guns away from men.
Hi, it seems so Christians didn't learn basic human anatomy, so I'm just here to clear things up. A lot of times, cis women's virginity gets compared to perishable goods, like gum, or maybe an object like tape that's a one-time use sort of thing. And I'm just here to let you know, vaginas are reusable. Like, you're not going to run out of vagina. Like, it's not a one-time use. If a man touches your vagina before you're married, it doesn't disintegrate. It's kind of always there. So if you have sex before marriage and then you get married to a different person, your vagina is still going to be there. You can still use it. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to save up the vagina. You don't have to, like, save the vagina for a rainy day. Like, it just is going to keep going. So you're safe. Don't worry. It won't fall apart. You're good.
The most unsettling form of abuse that I have experienced and work with. Reactive abuse. The phenomenon of somebody pushing you to the edge of explosion and then becoming eerily calm. Now, in toxic personalities, this is actually how they regulate their emotions, through others. When they make somebody unsettled, confused, angry, and frustrated, those are actually their emotions. And when you feel them, it actually makes them feel better. At this point, as they watch you, they think, I'm not the only one who has these emotions. And although they will fail to acknowledge the emotions in them, they will be quick to point out how wrong you are. And if they convince you that you are wrong once again, they will feel secure that you will not abandon them.
What confuses you the most about conservatives?
I only have 60 seconds. You're pro forcing a woman to give birth, but don't care about the woman or the child. You say you love America, but you're okay with it being mediocre. You say you don't trust the government because you don't want them to find out your things, but your president enacted the Patriot Act. You're never fighting for anything, you're just fighting against everyone else. You have wet dreams about being oppressed. I'll never understand that. Christians are not oppressed, white people are not oppressed, men are not oppressed, straight people are not oppressed. Why do you want to be oppressed so bad? You say you love Christ and then you do everything that he said don't do. You love an economic system that constantly fucks you over. You've allowed the upper class to convince the middle class that the lower class is the problem. You love paying thousands of dollars for healthcare. You'll say all lives matter, but you will not say Black Lives Matter. You feel like everyone should respect your opinions because everyone's entitled to their own opinions, and then you don't respect anybody else's existence. And when asked about it, most of you say that you would hide a Jewish person during World War II, and you know damn well you would not.
I used to be a Republican. I also actually used to be an All Lives Matter person. So really, I was low-key racist. I should be ashamed to admit this, but I'm not. I'm not because I was raised a certain way, I saw a problem, and I changed it. I educated myself, and I changed the way I felt. Anyway, the moment I realized white privilege was real was before I'd ever even had a name. I was 30 years old, and I was driving home in my late husband's car. It was dark, and I got pulled over because my tabs were expired. I explained to the officer that it was my husband's car and not mine, and he was fine with that. He was going to let me go. And then he asked for my ID. My license was also actually expired. My fault. When he asked for my insurance and registration, I told him that in the glove box, there very well could be a loaded handgun that's not registered to me. He let me go. He told me to have a good night, and that he didn't want to deal with it. If I was a person of color, I very likely would not be here making this video right now. That would have not went down like that. That's white privilege.
To play. I'm not allowed to play because I'm transgender. I don't think I deserve to be discriminated against. I mean, I'm just trying to have fun and find a hobby for me and stay in shape. Like, I mean, I thought that's what we wanted our kids in America to do. People are looked at differently because of what people say they are, but not who they are. And that's not the way it should be.
I can't even imagine what it feels like to be the parent of a teenage girl right now, or just a girl in general. I just saw a TikTok where a woman had to pull her teenage daughter out of school because her daughter's male classmates were joking about this National Rape Day bullshit. So she went to the administration, was informed that other girls had also been pulled out of school because they felt unsafe, and that the administration had suspended a few of the boys, which good on them for actually doing something. But the OP was being called a Karen. She was told to lighten up because the boys were just joking and she was disrupting the boys' education. The bar is on the fucking floor for men. How is this okay? Just, why? Do better. Do fucking better.
Can you please be polite to men who hit on you?
I'm not interested. Don't talk to me.
Okay, be a bitch. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm a bitch. You're fucking weird. I'm a minor. Fucking weird ass creep. Yeah, I'm fucking weird. Look at you. Fucking weird ass creep. Fucking weirdo.
That's why. That's why women can't be nicer. She was sitting there minding her business. The guy jumped the wall, came up on her all sketch. She said no. He calls her a bitch. He curses her out. Then, when she stopped recording, she was walking away, tried to call someone to come get her. He jumped back over the wall, grabbed her, and tried to drag her back to his truck. She started screaming, and fortunately there were people around, so he let her go. So if a woman wants to trust her instincts, maybe not be so nice, not smile more, then I say she should. Because between hurt someone's feelings and end up dumped in a ditch, I say hurt someone's feelings.
You know, what I've been thinking about a lot lately is the little things that men will do to degrade women, and they will get away with it for their entire lives. And I'm just going to give my own personal examples, and I know that these videos get a ton of bad comments from angry men, but that's okay. This is for the ladies. I know that so many of you guys can relate, so I'm just going to tell some of my stories. When I was 18, I had my first job and I worked at a restaurant, and I worked with mainly guys, and sometimes I would give them rides home because they lived on my way home, and a couple of them lived within the same neighborhood. And I was a senior in high school, so some of these guys actually went to school with like some of my friends or my cousins or whatever. And I remember it getting back to me that one of the guys who I kindly would drive home sometimes started saying that I would actually go have sex with him in his house. And this was not the first example of me doing a basic kindness for a man and him turning it into something sexual. So of course, because people would find some way to blame me, I just stopped being that nice.
She talks about her pussy 90% of the time. How is she an artist?
Your video should have stopped at the fact that you don't think Meg deserved the award. Because if there was another artist who you feel like had a more deserving song than Savage, that's fine. You just had to bring in her artistry though. And then in the same breath, you were bopping the hell out to Pop Smoke. You clearly love Dior, and women are getting sexualized here too. People like Pop Smoke, Kanye, Eminem have like phenomenal careers in music. They are incredible artists. No one's denying that, but sexualizing women is still part of their craft. Even when it comes to their most problematic lyrics, y'all love to point out that they are just playing characters. When it comes to Meg talking about her own body, she can't be considered an artist anymore. She is a great lyricist, by the way, but y'all will just focus on the sole parts of the song that talk about sex and then assume that all these women talk about in their music is sex and that they can't be considered artists. Y'all are never consistent in this argument, so I can't take any of you seriously. You just hate women. You just hate women.
I cannot even believe that I'm having to make this video, and it is way off base of my normal TikToks, but it has to be addressed. So a couple days ago, I commented on a guy's video who was talking to women about how to protect themselves because this whole National Rape Day thing is going around on TikTok and other social media. Well, my daughter had to be picked up from school on Monday because all these boys were joking around about raping girls on National Rape Day. When I reported it to the administration, they said that multiple girls had already been picked up and multiple parents had made complaints. Turns out they suspended a few boys. Good. I'm glad. They should have been. But on this comment, I got called a Karen, told that I was interrupting these boys' education, that I was being ridiculous. They were just joking. Joking about rape is never acceptable. It is absolutely flabbergasting to me that they would defend them. What the fuck?
Let's talk about April 24th being National Rape Day. Using any kind of force is rape. Guilting somebody into having sex with you is rape. Coercing them into having sex with you is rape. Using drugs or alcohol to influence them into saying yes is rape. They don't listen to us when we address their bad behavior, so here's a tip in case you end up in a situation like this. For any and all legal reasons, I would just like to note, just like the guys say about April 24th, don't worry, it's just a joke. The average human jaw can generate about 200 pounds of force. It takes about 50 to 80 pounds force to cut off a baby carrot depending on its size. Now I'm quite sure everybody knows what I'm talking about, so here comes the hard part. You're going to pretend like you like it. You're going to get on your knees and tell them that you want to... You're going to put that little baby carrot all the way to the back of your throat, and you are going to chomp down as hard as you can and rip that motherfucker clean off of his body. Do you understand me? And now you're going to keep that little baby carrot as a souvenir so he cannot reattach it to his body and hurt anybody else. And now you also have proof for the police that he took advantage of you. You're welcome.
Just learned something kind of mind-blowing about narcissists. They're like hoarders, except they hoard people instead of things. And we all know narcissists treat people as things to prop up their ego because they don't see us as humans. They don't recognize our feelings. They don't empathize with us. And so they hoard people for the same reason why hoarders hoard stuff, in case they need it later. Let that sink in.